Have you ever heard of Belle Boyd, the Southern siren of the Civil War? Born in the year of 1844, Isabella Maria Boyd, known to us as Belle Boyd, was brought into this world by a prosperous family in the charming town of Martinsburg, Virginia. The Boyd family, like many in Martinsburg, held a deep-seated loyalty to the Confederate cause. This loyalty was instilled in the young Belle, who grew up surrounded by the fervor and tension of the impending Civil War. Even as a child, Belle was known for her fiery spirit and an unyielding determination that set her apart from her peers. Her life was one of relative comfort and privilege, with her family's wealth shielding her from many of life's harsher realities. But the winds of change were about to sweep through Martinsburg, and with them, Belle's life was set on a course that few could have predicted. Her life took a dramatic turn when Martinsburg fell under Union control. Belle's life as a spy began almost accidentally. In the year of 1861, at the tender age of 17, Belle Boyd's life took an unexpected turn. Amidst the turbulent backdrop of the American Civil War, her home in Martinsburg, Virginia, was invaded by Union soldiers. One of these soldiers threatened her mother, and Belle, in an act of defiance and protection, shot him dead. This shocking incident marked the beginning of her journey into the clandestine world of espionage. The Union officers, suspicious of this young woman's audacity, decided to keep her house under surveillance. Little did they know that their decision would backfire spectacularly. The soldiers' presence in her home presented Belle with an opportunity she couldn't resist. She was in a unique position to overhear their plans and gather valuable information. Raised in a family of staunch Confederates, Belle knew where her loyalties lay. The prospect of aiding the Southern cause was too enticing to ignore. With courage that belied her years, Belle began to pass on the information she gleaned from the Union soldiers to Confederate officers. She utilized her wit and charm, often distracting the soldiers with her captivating storytelling or using her feminine wiles to extract information. Her house became a hotbed of intelligence for the Confederates, with Belle at the heart of this operation. Her audacious actions were not without risk, but Belle was undeterred. She was driven by a sense of duty and a fierce loyalty to the Southern cause. Her determination and courage were remarkable, and she quickly gained the trust and admiration of the Confederate officers. Despite her young age, Belle proved herself to be an invaluable asset to the Confederates. Her unique position allowed her to provide critical intelligence, helping to shape the course of the war in the South's favor. Her audacious actions were just the beginning of her daring exploits. As the war progressed, Belle's role as a spy would evolve and expand, leading her down a path of intrigue, danger, and ultimately infamy. Belle's charm and wit were her greatest weapons. Armed with nothing more than her captivating personality and razor-sharp intellect, Belle Boyd was a force to be reckoned with. Her espionage exploits are the stuff of legend, and her contributions to the Confederate cause were invaluable. Belle would use her femininity and social grace to her advantage, often throwing lavish parties for Union officers. Her home was a hive of activity, where unsuspecting Union soldiers would spill their secrets in the company of this seemingly innocent Southern belle. Belle was a master of the art of conversation, expertly weaving her way through discussions, extracting precious information without raising suspicion. She was not only adept at gathering intelligence, but also skilled at passing it on to the Confederate forces. Belle would write messages on tiny scraps of paper, which she would then sew into the seams of her dresses or hide in her shoes. She would then deliver these messages herself, often traveling miles on horseback through dangerous territory to reach the Confederate lines. One of Belle's most significant contributions to the Confederate cause was the intelligence she provided before the Battle of Front Royal in May of 1862. She passed on crucial information about the Union Army's positions and strength, enabling the Confederates to plan a successful surprise attack. Her daring efforts earned her the nickname the Siren of the Shenandoah. But Belle's exploits were not just limited to gathering and passing on information. She also played a role in smuggling medical supplies and other essential items to the Confederate soldiers. Her courage and dedication were unparalleled, often risking her life for the cause she believed in. But as with any high-stakes game, the risks were high and the rewards were great. Belle knew that every conversation, every party, every message passed brought with it the danger of discovery. She was playing a dangerous game, and she played it well. However, her activities didn't go unnoticed for long. Belle Boyd was no stranger to the inside of a prison cell. Indeed, her daring exploits as a Confederate spy during the American Civil War led to her first arrest in July of 1862. She was detained by Union forces after being accused of espionage, a serious charge that carried a weighty sentence. Following her arrest, Belle was transported to Old Capitol Prison in Washington, D.C. This imposing structure, which served as a temporary holding place for those accused of serious crimes, was to become all too familiar to our intrepid spy. Yet even within these forbidding walls, Belle's spirit remained defiant. Despite the harsh conditions, Belle continued her spying activities from behind bars. She would charm her Union guards, extracting valuable information from them. She was released just a month after her initial incarceration, but this was merely the first of many such instances. A pattern began to emerge. Belle would be arrested, imprisoned, and then released, only to be rearrested for continuing her clandestine activities. Each time she was returned to Old Capitol Prison, the place that had become an unwelcome home away from home. But, if anything, these experiences only seemed to strengthen her resolve. Belle's time in prison was marked by her resilience and cunning. She used every tool at her disposal to further the Confederate cause, proving that bars and locks were no match for her determination and wit. It was reported that she would often feign illness, using the ensuing confusion to smuggle out messages to her Confederate contacts. Despite the repeated arrests and imprisonments, Belle's spirit remained unbroken. She continued to play her role in the war, undeterred by the personal cost. In the face of adversity, Belle Boyd proved time and again that a prison cell could hold her body, but never her spirit. Her spirit remained unbroken despite her numerous arrests. The end of the war didn't mean the end of Belle's adventures. With the conclusion of the Civil War, Belle Boyd was once again released from prison. However, this time, she found herself in a predicament. Accused of further aiding the Confederates, Belle was exiled to England, a strange and distant land. But in true Belle Boyd fashion, she didn't let this deter her. She embraced her new life, carving out a path that was as intriguing as her espionage days. While in England, Belle fell in love with a Union officer, an unexpected twist in her tale. This man, Samuel Wilde Hardinge, was a stark contrast to her former Confederate allies. Their marriage, a union of opposites, was a testament to Belle's resilient spirit and her ability to adapt in challenging circumstances. In England, Belle found a new calling, the stage. She became an actress, a profession that allowed her to channel her flair for the dramatic. Her performances were as captivating as her tales of espionage, earning her a following among the English audience. But Belle's storytelling abilities weren't confined to the stage. She also penned down her life experiences, authoring a book titled Belle Boyd in Camp and Prison. This memoir, filled with thrilling accounts of her days as a spy, brought her further recognition and acclaim. However, despite her newfound fame in England, Belle's heart yearned for her homeland. Eventually, she made her way back to the United States, where she continued her acting career and her storytelling. In the face of adversity, Belle Boyd had managed to reinvent herself time and again. From a young girl in Virginia to a daring Confederate spy, from a prisoner to an exiled woman, and finally to an esteemed actress and author, Belle Boyd, a spy and a survivor, lived a life far from ordinary. She was a woman of courage, resilience, and wit, whose spirit refused to be tamed, making her one of the most intriguing figures in history. Belle Boyd remains one of the most intriguing figures of the Civil War. Born into a world of privilege in Virginia, her life took a dramatic turn with the onset of the war. Her courage and audacious spirit led her down an unlikely path, that of a Confederate spy. Her daring exploits, a blend of charm and cunning, significantly impacted the course of the war. Despite multiple arrests, imprisonments, and even exile, Belle's determination never wavered. She turned adversity into opportunity, using her unique skills to serve her cause. In the twilight of her life, Belle found a new home across the Atlantic, in England. There, she continued to captivate audiences with tales of her espionage exploits. Today, her legacy lives on, not just as a spy, but as a woman who dared to defy the norms of her time. Belle Boyd, the Southern Siren, continues to captivate us with her audacious life and daring exploits.